Hello everyone, my name is Ben at TV Parts Today. In today's video, we're going to be going over the process of how to remove the back plate as well as the boards from this Samsung unit. It is model QN77S90DAF. If we need to swap out a faulty power supply, we're going to show you how to do that. If we need to swap out the TCON board because we have vertical lines on our screen, we've got you covered. If we need to swap out the main board, we are going to go step by step, plug by plug, process by process, exactly how to get these out of your unit. And if you need to purchase any of these parts, they are available on our website at www.tvpartstoday.com. And let's jump right into it. All right, so we have the back of the television laid out here. There are no screws on these Samsung units, but we will be using a screwdriver to help us release the clips that do run along the bottom. And I will get you a nice tight shot of those clips so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. But we're going to find the little hole where the clip sits, insert the screwdriver just enough to get it to release, find the guide hole right next to it. A little bit of upward force, you can kind of hear those clips popping away. We're gonna come all the way to the other side. Do the same thing, find that little hole where the clip is, just enough to get the clip to let go. Find the guide hole next to it, a little bit of upward force, and you can start to hear more of those clips popping away. And then we're gonna come all the way down the bottom, next set of clip. Just make sure that we're pressing those in, just enough to get them to release. We don't wanna break those clips because we do need them to set back in there when we get the back on. And there are quite a number of these. So after we get all those pushed in, we're just going to give a little bit of force as we head down so you can start hearing those clips let go. And then when we get to the sides here, because the bottom is mostly done, we're just going to run our fingers along the side, a little bit of force. You can start hearing those clips popping away. Head to the other side. This one seems to be pretty good. So the only ones that should be left here are the clips that run all the way along this top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my finger along the side, get one or two of those to pop up just so I can get my fingers underneath it, and then just start sliding my hand down. And they all start letting go. That lets the back off, and then we have access to the boards in the back of the unit. The first board that we're going to be removing is the main board, and the first step in removing the main board is to get all of the clips and connections that are affixed to the board. We're going to get those unclipped. So we're going to start with this guy up here. We're going to depress the two small buttons on the right and left side, and we're going to walk that straight away from the main board. And if it comes out at an angle just like this, we pop it back in until it snaps or clicks. Push the buttons down. We'll try one more time. These ribbon cable connections, we're just going to lift up the black flap with our fingernail. We're going to very, very gently walk these ribbon cable connections away from the main board. We don't want to cause any damage to these. The plug here for the speaker, I think what I'm actually going to do is lift up on this speaker. It is affixed to the chassis with some blue plugs. They just pop right out. This gives us just a little bit more space to deal with this clip. So we're going to push the buttons down on the right and left side of this, and we're going to walk it straight away from the main board. So depress the buttons, walk it away. And we're going to set this whole piece off to the side just so it's out of our way. This guy right here is a ribbon cable connection. We're going to pop it up with our fingernail. And we're just going to walk that ribbon cable connection right away from the main board. This guy right here looks like there's a little bit of creative cable work here. So we're going to get this up. There it is. So this has got a small lever that we're going to push down with our finger. And we're just going to pull that right away from the main board. So the main board is not affixed to the chassis with any screws. There is a small nubbin right here that kind of locks the whole board in place to keep it from sliding around. So what we're going to do to get this to release is very gently lift up on the board. So I'm flexing the board just barely enough to get up over that little hump, and I'm pushing the whole thing out to where the clips all slide out from the chassis, and that's the main board in this unit. Next up is the power supply board, and the first step for the power supply board is going to be to get these two clips away from the board. So these are both the same style. There's a small lever on the back of this clip that we're going to depress with our finger or our fingernail, and we're just going to pull that right up, and away it comes right out. Same thing with this guy. We're going to depress that lever. Now this one's being a little stubborn. Depress the lever, it pops right out. So you're going to do a little bit of cable management here. Just get these off to the side so they're a little bit out of our way. Now there should be one screw, yes, right here there's one screw that is affixing the actual board to the chassis. So we're just going to get that one screw out. Now we should be looking for the small nubbin here on the board. It looks like it's right here. These power supplies can be quite tricky to actually get them to let go and slide away from the chassis, but we are just going to take our time, be very gentle here. So we're going to very gently flex the board up and over. The whole thing kind of starts to move, and you can see I kind of use both hands, one at the top, one at the bottom here, but here is the little nubbin. I'll do this one more time for you. This little nubbin, the board just kind of slides out, letting itself go from the chassis, and that's the power supply board. Last up is the TCON board here. There are just a couple of ribbon cable connections and one clip that we need to get away before we can actually remove this from the chassis. So let's start with this clip right here. What we're going to do is we're going to depress the two buttons on the right and left side of this clip, and we're going to walk it straight away from the TCON board. So depress the buttons. Walk that clip out of there. Now we have the ribbon cable connections. We're just going to lift up on the black flaps with our fingernail to where they pop up. And we're very gently going to remove these ribbon cable connections from the board. There it goes. Now, there are no screws that are actually affixing this board to the chassis, but there is a small nubbin, like on the main board and the power supply, that is kind of keeping everything locked onto the chassis. So we're just going to give it just a little bit, just enough of upward force here, just to kind of pop it up over that nubbin, and the whole thing slides out. And that's the TCON board. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. If you have any questions about this or any other TV repair, you can give us a call at 930-212-1975, or you can send us an email to info@tvpartstoday.com. That's info@tvpartstoday.com. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time.